Morning, 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 morning. How are you two lovelies?
Very good, very good. Appreciate
We are
the
joined
invite.
today by Mitch Handley. How are you, sir? You okay? Looking forward to Jerry Maguire again. Nice to see.
Yeah, all good. Thank you very much. Appreciate.
Mintzy, you okay? You got a little bit of a sideways profile. Is this a new look for us?
I'm just trying some new stuff. If you want, we can get real close up.
I'll go with that.
Is that better?
No, the dentist camera is not something we're ready for yet.
Okay, all right. I'll just pop it off to the side here. Then there we go.
Yeah.
So, Mitch, we were just saying, obviously, madness. We're almost a sixth of a way through the year, if that is a way to talk about it. And I think that's very much been the theme, hasn't it? Talking to everybody so far, nothing's slowing down, is it?
No, we thought after the Christmas period, like, right, we can reset, set some new goals.
Pivot.
Cliche. Yeah. But it's just started off where we left off, really. Like, although we quietly go about a business almost like we've just launched our new website. We've just got new development features happening, which takes a lot of testing and refining it. And I should say to you, it's not people or users think new features or new websites are just a click of a button. Like, it's just build a button. It's simple as that. But it's not nowadays. So there's been a lot of.
It's like the plumbing, isn't it? And just off camera, you're also talking about your prostate. So that's how we weave these two things together, isn't it?
There's always a link between the two in there somehow. Yeah,
it's madness, isn't it? Like you are right. You do just think how flat some of the websites are, and then you get have to learn things like what content management system, and then, how it's linked to LLMs and all the rest of it. Yeah,
I know. And it's like all the Google Analytics, all your tags and everything, and it's like.
Mitch, there's a reality, isn't there? You get so excited about a web project wherever it is. And you obviously, spend a lot of time looking at the functionality, and then there is just that sort of thing where you just get over the line and forget to do any of the content. Then, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It was more stuff like, for example, people sign up for trials for our website, so that's got to integrate with our database. That's got to integrate with our CRM. That's got to integrate with our Slack, our messaging system. So it's like I said, it's not just name, email, password. There's a lot to it where I'm just like, just get it done, guys. But it's never like that. But
you heard it here first. If you are tuning in thinking about hacking the new Inventory Hive website, don't do it. It's too complicated.
I know. Exactly. Even we don't know. So,
Mitch, your website by the end of the year is likely to be award-winning. How do I know this? Because by the end of the year, Inventory Hive are likely to be award-winning in any given year. You've done really, really well previously. But we all have mixed views on award ceremonies, and there is a sense, I think, amongst suppliers that we all just take our turn at being the kind of the cream of the industry, and it's almost that it's passed around. Do you think it's almost performative that we go through all of that, or does it matter? Where do you sit on it?
Yeah, so when I started working at Hive, one of the first major awards that we won was the EA Masters the year after COVID. They're like the best supply award. And there's loads of award ceremonies out there. You've got like the Esters, EA Masters, Negotiator Awards. You've got like the Orly Agents one, and there's always a bit of like debaters such as which is the creme de la creme, almost like which is the one you want to win. And what I find interesting is that all the different types of awards are like voted on differently. So like the EA Masters are all voting by customers, but with that was quite interesting actually, because when we won the best medium supplier, we actually won the best overall as well at the same time, and we didn't really, that came as a surprise because we're a small outfit really compared to like your Streets, your Repits, your Acabooms, your like all the other suppliers in the room, and for us to win that was like was stunning really, because I remember actually getting home from the event, and Rich stayed on to collect the awards, and it was on your table, and it was slow in his words, which wouldn't surprise me after being on your table. And he said, Mitch, we won the overall. It's like, how? We're tiny. Like, how have we won? So, yeah, the reason that one was quite good is because that one is, I quite like the voting on that one, because all the estate agents vote on one page. So they see all their suppliers in one list and just choose the suppliers that they want to vote for, which I think is quite good. Then you've got obviously the Esters. We don't actually partake in the Esters. We did try it one year, but yeah, it's kind of,
Mitch, is that just down to the fact that there's, you know, in consumer world, it's easy because you've got millions of clients. In B2B world, though, it's obviously much, much harder. And there's only so many times you can go back to your client base and say, look, we're doing this week. Is that an element of it, or?
It is. So it's like, when we started with Hive, obviously we've got reviews.io. So we've got nearly 400 reviews on there. Then it's like trying to go to your customers. Right, can you vote for us for the Airmasters? Yeah, no problem. All done. Oh, shit. Can you vote for us for the Esters as well, please, while you're at it? And it's like, I feel like customers might get a bit annoyed that I'm only contacting them to say, can you just vote for us here? Then you've got the NPS score side of things. So with the Esters, obviously there's the you've got to subscribe to their reviews platform, which is fine. And then obviously everyone gets shortlisted, so then you have to purchase a table, and then there's like the hidden cost element as well. Nothing's like, I praise the Esters, like everything. It looks a great event, but something we just try and box a bit clever with that kind of stuff. So yeah, so I know a lot of agents love the Esters. A lot of suppliers love the Esters.
I know one in particular who loves the Esters. Christine Byfield has got more Esters than the Crown Jewels has got jewels.
And it's like, it is something we'd love to potentially do in the future, but like it's just the reviews. Like, we already collect reviews, and it's hard just to keep on bombarding customers with just requesting reviews all the time. Especially, I think now's when the window's open to collect reviews for the award. So it's like,
it's actually, I think because we've got in this week, it's the 28th is the deadline for the Esters. So we're going to see a lot of love and attention, and obviously emails and socials out there. So that's I think it's a really interesting angle, though, isn't it, in terms of the reviews? When we did the Kerfuffle Awards, one of the things we were trying to figure out is, how do we not become how do we not become part of the problem and answer that issue? And I think our approach was that we should have the ability to pull awards. You mentioned, is it Reviews.io you use, which is one of those reputation platforms that pulls it from different areas, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. So like, it kind of links to our Google, our Facebook pages, etc. And because we've had that from day one and we've collected the data already, it's difficult just to bin that off almost. So
should you?
No.
I mean, here's the thing: is it shouldn't really matter what the platform is, as long as it's publicly accessible. You should. That's what the approach we're working it on is going. If you use on Google, Facebook, Trustpilot, whatever else, as long as we have the ability to do those. Otherwise, it is, you find yourself bouncing around too often, asking the clients rather than actually looking after the business.
Yeah, and then you've got like the algorithm side of things. Like, for example, like if you was like looking at an estate agent, and one estate agent had 500 reviews at 3-star, then you've got another estate agent at 50 reviews at 5-star. What would you go for? So it's like, do you go for the one with more but slightly less, or like the one with getting 5 stars every time? Then the next, obviously, then we've got the Negotiator Awards, which is all judges based awards, and we won that twice in a row. And to be honest, I thought I've not really been in the industry long compared to you chaps. Really, I've only been working in property for like 5-6 years.
With the Peter Pans of PropTech, we've only been in here.
And obviously that's based on judges. And I thought, oh, that's a type of event where if you sponsor an award, if you one of them exhibit, then you're likely to win something because it's like sponsors kind of award side of things. But I was quite surprised actually, because when we entered for that, I got a phone call off. I've written his name down somewhere.
Is this Mitch's hate list like Nixon?
No, I was really surprised to get this phone call off Guy Charison. I don't know if you know.
Oh, thank God you said Guy. I thought you were about to say Jeffrey Epstein. Carry on, please, carry on.
And he rang me up and goes, "Are you Mitch at Inventory Hive?" I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I'm on the judges panel at the Negotiator Awards, and I want to interrogate you basically about your entry." So I was like, "Oh, so there's actually there's really judges then? Bloody hell, I didn't realise." So, because I always thought, oh, they'll just give it to the person who sponsors the most or buys the most stands or whatever. And then, and then we didn't actually pay for an exhibition, any sponsorship. We got invited on the TDS table. So the only thing we paid for was a train ticket down. And we obviously, to win that, made us realise, oh, it actually is down to the actual judges' vote rather than that kind of thing. So we won it twice in a row, which was really good which we're really proud of. So yeah, so that's how that.
All right. Now you've told us about the awards you've won. How does it feel to lose, Mitch?
So
your name read out.
When we lose, then we just say, "Oh, there must have been an error with the platform or something."
They sponsored the award, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they sponsored the award.
Yeah.
But it's.
Have you ever seen the iconic Rowan Atkinson where he plays somebody at the Oscars and they focus in on him as they're just about to announce it, and then it goes to somebody else, and he's literally there, goes, "Oh fucking hell!" It's like, I do. I love the idea of having the alternative kind of camera. Maybe that's Chris Watkins can kind of.
But Mitch, do you see it then as, because I know what agents will say, well, we can market the hell out of an award and we can sort of locally, Mrs. Goggins doesn't know who she's choosing. I think Simon, you pulled up I think something that what's his name, Chris Webb had also said about the clients effectively are choosing you before you walk in the room, because if you can get a video review or a real life review of somebody, it counts. Do you see a correlation between awards won and an uptick in business, or is it hard to track the ROI of an award? Just good to have?
Yeah, the one time where we definitely saw an uptick was at the EA Masters last year, when we won the Innovation Award. And the reason we won that with our diary maps feature, which we worked closely with LRG with and everything like that. So that was a surprise as well. And the reason we saw an uptick there was because they presented that award at lunchtime. And then there's still another 3 hours of exhibition after.
So you could see it and then come and say, actually, we need to go and look at those guys. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so we had literally after that, we didn't even have time to take a photo of the award. There was about 15 deep of people going, "Just seen you won an award. Can you tell us a bit more?" So that was really good. It's hard to track, say, after an event. Like, it's rare you get people come up to you and say, "Oh, I see you won this award." It's good for LinkedIn content, socials, newsletters on marketing, and adding the logos onto like banners or advertisements, etc. But I'd say tracking the actual return on investment of winning that award is quite hard. We do have people, especially immediately, we do have people even at exhibitions like come to you a year after an exhibition or an award, say, "Oh, I noticed you won this," or "I saw you at this exhibition last year. Can I chat more about it?" So it's difficult to see the immediate return. But
I think that's definitely true. I remember back in the Repeat days, it was a bit like our friend Mr. Quirk's comment about PR, where there's definitely an ROI and it takes a while to come through. But I think it's very demonstrable, although difficult to measure down to the last penny. But over a period of time, that kind of consistent drip of, obviously, I always used to say, obviously it was lovely to win the big awards, But
Yes.
the most important thing was just to keep getting consistently shortlisted, wasn't it? Because that's stuff that I think agents pay attention to, or the other way around, the public pay attention to.
Yeah, it's almost like being shortlisted or winning. Obviously, winning's great, absolutely fantastic, but it is just that extra visibility. Like people just keep noticing, oh, why do they keep getting shortlisted? Why do they keep on winning? Like it's not necessarily like, especially with our kind of product, like it's not the most exciting thing for an agent to do.
Oh, thank God you said it.
Yeah, but honestly, but it's like, but it's just keeping that thing ticking over that, like.
But you know what? If you were to give me, it's interesting. We see lots and lots of prop tech here. Obviously, we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't. And if you were to say, well, give me something that you can sell, Inventories is one of those things that I know every agent needs, every landlord needs. I mean, I think there was a shocking statistic in the news this week in terms of the amount of time that self-managing landlords now have to invest into managing their own properties and things like that. And so you will get asked, won't you? Well, what can we do to ensure we get our fair, fair handling of deposits, or that we can get our property back in? These are things that people are worried about, aren't they?
Yeah.
And
with the Renters' Rights Act, it will probably be, inventories will probably be the most important piece of evidence you'll have in case you need to evict a tenant now, because you can't just chuck them out anymore. You need evidence of what the property was like to check it. You need evidence of a reason to evict a tenant from the property now, and that's where your inventories and check-ins and checkouts will come in really handy. We've definitely seen an uptick in business since the Renters' Rights Act being potentially, obviously, start in May, but we've seen a 20% increase in trial accounts alone, just off the back of that. There is obviously that debate of outsourcing versus doing in-house, but we're finding a lot of hybrid models now where they'll outsource some and then do some in-house, which is quite interesting as well. So, and the other thing as well with the Inventories product compared to like other CRMs like Repits, Rightmove, Streets, etc., that we're a really cheap product, like subscriptions from like £30 a month, where agents are spending 2,000 or 3,000 a month on other products or other prop tech.
Yeah,
and we still get hammered for discounts as well all the time, which is so.
Mitch, I'm gonna swear now, because I am gonna. Mintzy kind of took the mickey there a little bit out of Inventories, but I'm gonna mention your erstwhile colleagues in the area. You know, you guys, Inventory Base, Inventory Hive. Since day one, you guys have on our platform, and I see it obviously shortlisted at the awards, been two of the most shortlisted and indeed awarded companies that are out there. And I think. And I've always been really interested by that dynamic, because, as you said, on the face of it, you could say it's not that exciting. But what it shows to me is an absolute realization from your clients of the importance of where you sit in their world. You know, and yes, there's you know, the most, me and Mintzy always laugh at it, because we see obviously the stats about what are the most searched for categories, and CRM obviously in there. But you know, anything you can talk about prospecting, the more listing to pay for this gets the attention. But what I think really comes through with the products that you guys provide is that it is there. It's a really solid service, isn't it? And that's where it matters, and that comes through in those reviews, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's something we're really proud of ourselves on. Like, Inventory Base will be going longer than us, so they've got the head start as such, if that makes sense. But what we find is how, like, just more user-friendly side of things with our product, but something we're really proud of ourselves on, and something that I've tried to drill into the team in the last 4 or 5 years is the customer service side of things as well. So I used to work in a 4-star hotel in Derby, and like we used to have, every time Derby at home, we had all the away teams stop there, like Man United, Liverpool when they could afford it, everything like that. So but it was so that built like customer service up. And what we try and do at Hive is just drill into the like checking in with the customers all the time. We do the NPS scoring, so we send NPS scores. Our support response times to tickets are under 8 minutes, so people can ring us up straight away if they need triaging over the phone. We do regular account reviews, so it's just that constant checking in. And we had an internal review last month, and what our churn rate is extremely low. So we have more people upgrading subscriptions than cancelling, where you find with other softwares it's completely opposite. So we properly drill. I think the reason we do quite well in the awards is like the product sells itself. It's the constant touch points of customer service, onboarding, training, that no hidden charges, nothing daft like that. So I think it builds that trust. It's that trust element, I think, rather than.
And I've got an increasing theory that I'm sure is right, is that we do spend a lot of time, understandably, trying to pitch for the, the business owners in agencies, business, and then their reviews, and then their feedback, and everything else. And that, of course, is right and proper. But ultimately, as well, is the reason why you work and this whole area does is because ultimately you are delivering for the consumer and the agent's own clients, aren't you?
Yeah,
if we can focus on that, I think a lot of suppliers would do a lot better off in terms of in their whole the whole business.
We get a lot of like branch managers or lettings managers like send the initial inquiry to us, but it will be the boots on the ground, like the inspectors and the lettings negotiators or assistants, etc., the ones actually using the software. So it's almost like they'll send the initial inquiry and then say, right, do the demo to my team. I'll let them feed back to me. That's where I think that transfers everywhere as well, because it spreads good news throughout their agency if they're enjoying the products. So, but also because we engage with tenants as well, we don't deal directly with them like the agent would do it through the platform. They get a positive experience as well. It's a professional products that they're offering to their landlords and tenants, which is an extra bonus as well. But yeah, what we do come across is a lot of. It's rare that we pitch to CEOs or directors. It's the boots on the ground, those that are using the products, and then they'll feed back that information back up further up the ladder for approval, basically. So, yeah.
Mitch, in terms of you referenced one of your competitors there, and I've always, maybe I'm utterly naive, but I've always thought that the competition within the sort of inventory space to be fairly respectful. In fact, you'll never find both of you, the two main ones that people talk about, never speak in anything but respectful terms about each other. My question to you is, and then we've spoken about this separately, is that atmosphere of kind of almost gentlemanly,
Mintzy, it's a cartel. We know it's a cartel. I reckon there's a topco where there. If we look out,
if you follow the money, it all goes back to the Cayman Islands. But Mitch, before we let you get off on your private jet to the Caymans to check in, but seriously though, I think we've discussed competition previously. We've discussed how dirty it has gotten recently, not necessarily in the inventory space. I've got to say, you guys have behaved really well, but particularly the CRM space is a dirty dirty hellhole to be in at the moment. I'm going to call it out. It's a horrible hell. So what's your opinion on these things?
So our relationship with Inventory Space, obviously we're competitors, but whenever we see each other at exhibitions, we have a chat, we shake hands. We're not. I feel playing dirty is the worst form of competition, basically, because I think I saw it on, obviously, who was it? Alto, Repit, or all of it. Like there's a bit of social media slagging between them, but the comments below just summed it up about who's like hitting the lowest blow, basically. But we fully respect Inventories. Obviously, they're one of the more long-standing customers. But we get excited when someone signs up with us who've transferred over from Inventories, because that shows that we're doing something right or something different. The hardest thing we find is getting those people. Like it probably works vice versa, like Hive to base or base to Hive. Like people don't have the time, customers don't have the time or the energy as such to put in the effort to transfer providers if they need to. That like they might know that our product's better, but they don't have the time or the resource to make that switch at the moment. But Inventory Base are fantastic, fantastic products. I'm sure they are, but we like to keep it going, basically.
And now joining us on the
Sean.
Mitch, I've got a theory though again here that it's actually, although you guys are in competition, and I'd love to be in that CRM space by at the moment now, because don't bring a knife to a gunfight. I'd be taking them down all over. But anyway, it's quite amusing there. But I have a theory that, especially in your world, because you guys know you're holding yourselves anyway to a different standard.
Yeah.
Your competitor per se, although obviously they are, it's actually the agents that don't see the value in either an Inventory Hive or an Inventory Base that is the challenge.
Yeah,
that's the far bigger, if you like, low-hanging fruit that you guys need to persuade people in. And once you win that argument, then you can worry about going, hell for leather with each other.
Yeah. Although at the end of the day, we both do the same thing. We create an inventory report for the properties that they manage using the software. It's just the user journeys of those products or usability are obviously very different, and it's up to that customer's personal preference at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But the thing that we try and drill in is just that extra touch points of onboarding, service, data migration, integration, setups, etc. And I respect Inventory Base. They're fantastic product, but we would never go on the record or go in public.
We were hoping you'd call them out.
No. Or I think a good quote, my dad used to tell me this, is keep your enemies close, is it? Is that what they say?
Okay, I'm messaging Steve Rad now. I'm saying he's cool.
Yeah. No. What's the not the end?
It's keep your friends close. Close, isn't it?
Yeah. And when my dad was a director, like they almost like kind of not work together, but I know the competitors, but they'll still potentially share ideas or share pain points or something like that. So
I genuinely, back in the day, as I said, me and Trevor Ewins were far too friendly. That's not like kind of an expose. Yeah. But actually, yes, you want to absolutely, beat each other in the marketplace. There's all that friendly, very competitive rivalry. But actually, having conversations with your competitors often leads to more opportunities.
Yeah, it's like we'll just have conversations like, what events, like when we catch up, when we see each other at exhibitions is when we mainly have a chat. But it's just, how you doing? What events are you doing this year? Blah blah blah. It's not. We're happy to.
You're
not slashing their merch or anything like that.
No, nothing like that. We're not cutting the wires to the.
You know what? You've just honestly. I mean, I'm not saying that we're not grateful for you coming on the show this morning, but you've killed what we had planned for KerfuffleCon this year. You're going to go for a UFC style.
It was going to be Ron Burgundy, where they fight in the car park, basically.
Let's just look at some of the comments. So Christian said that product training and support are equally important. The most common complaint you hear about PropTech usually isn't about the product, that it's costly training or support of this. That's what they're talking about. Agents have enough stress and stuff to juggle. Using your product and service shouldn't add to it. It should take away. And if you listen to what Sharka's got to say, hey Sharka, agree with your comment. All I want as an agent is a product that saves me time and money, not the other way around. fast support and training are the key parts.
I had no idea that Sharka was an estate agent till yesterday. I just assumed she was turning up to all of these events. She highlighted that the other day.
No, there's only one person that's never been an estate agent that just seems to turn up at every event. That's Simon Well. Hey! Agree with the above, Kai Logan. Onboarding has been our pain point recently, and in particular, the service and lack of communication are that hugely important stage.
Hang on, is he having a go as a client? Is he having a go at us there, David? Is this his way of getting our attention?
We like to do onboarding via telepathy. It either works or it doesn't. Business is like rugby. On the pitch, it's do or die, but the moment the match ends, it's hugs and beers.
And drinking each other's urine. So thanks.
Yes, lovely.
Yeah. I think that's really, I think that's really interesting, just in terms of the approach.
Yeah.
I'm asking you the question, Mitch. So we've got obviously the lovely Mr. Byfield here. How important do you think it is that you talk about, obviously there you can obviously be civil with your competitors, but how important is it as well to have relationships with other suppliers that my perception, would be interesting hearing from the agents, is they really do want other suppliers to work closer together, because I think that's where the good stuff happens.
One of the things we're about that is obviously that there's the integration side of things. Like a lot of our trials and inquiries now, the first question they would say is, do you integrate with Repit? Do you integrate with Street? Do you integrate with Fixflow? Do you integrate with Depository? That is always seems to be the first question now, rather than what's your product like? How much is it? It's I think a lot of agents now are just wanting to streamline all their processes. And that's why trying to keep close to the integration partners and other suppliers is really, really helpful. Like even at exhibitions, like obviously we've got a really good working relationship with the TDS, who although they work with all inventory providers, they obviously help recommend our products. And the same whenever we talk to customers, they might say, oh, do you know of any end of tenancy platforms? Go to the Depository. They're the ones to go for. Any maintenance platforms, here you got Fixflow, you've got X, Y, and Z. So I'm not really a fan of, like, we've had it a few times where the suppliers might come up to us and say, if you recommend us, we'll give you a kickback. But as soon as you start doing that, then it's like you're not selling your products, you're selling theirs.
David, I don't know if you're going to do it or I'm going to do it, but isn't that our entire model?
Yeah. I've got to be honest. I took us offline about 10 minutes ago, and he said competition didn't really matter. I just went, it's almost like we scratch your back, you scratch our back, we scratch your kind of thing. It's
wherever you get those referrals from is important, isn't it?
Yeah.
And as ever with these things, there's a spectrum, and the best possible one is where you're genuinely referring somebody like the Depository or TDS, because obviously you know that works, and hand on heart say it.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely a really, really important one. Where do you stand in terms of, just as a matter of interest, because you've done these and you've always had this policy of having great integrations directly. Obviously, are you on board with Glue Dog? Have you seen
we're going
that side of things?
So over the last year or so, obviously we try and build integrations directly, obviously through Depository, SME, Repit. With integrations, that people think integrations are easy to build.
Oh, they're impossible.
I know. It's like, because it's not just importing a property from SME or Repit to Hive. It's got to import over, it's got to apply a template, it's got to apply the rooms that are in Repit, it's got to pull over the tenants details, whether it's a single, joint, multiple tenancy, HMO, it's got to pull across the exterior photo. It's not I said earlier, it's not just a button these days. It's so hard to invest your development time in building integration. So we've
sorry then, Mitch, and then one change, either them doing an update or you doing an update, can impact as well going that way, can't it?
The amount of times where we get an issue, or well, not an issue, but like someone might say, "Oh, my property's not imported over," and then we'll reach out to that CRM support and say, "What's happened? Oh, we've done an update. We've just not quite communicated it." So there is that domino effect, and then that kind of makes it look a little bit bad on us because I think it's our problem, or sometimes, which it might be our problem, but it's if you delete one line of code, it affects everything. Yeah, so we're definitely on board with GlueDog, and we're due to announce something in the next within the next month. So,
well, I saw because this week in Estate Agency Day, one of their big announcements, and just for those people that aren't aware, GlueDog is like a Zapier kind of tool, which is called middleware. So, the advantage for ourselves as suppliers, Mitch, isn't it? Yes, you can do integrations with the likes of Repick, Street, and Alto, and get into quite client bases, but then there are still 15, 20, 30 other CRMs outside of here, and what GlueDog's offering is that one point of integration there, and from the agent's point of view, that they get that stability of their tech integrated. So I saw Agency Express, I think Nesty and GlueDog were doing that three-way integration. I think that gets that starts to feel like that's the way it should go, isn't it? Is
and also with the integration side of things, it is a lot of development resource, and with GlueDog taking on the burden of that basically, and the onboarding and supporting, it helps free up us to do some additional development where we need to invest it, like and the AI side of things,
and far better from your client base that actually they see the core product being developed forwards rather than another integration, which is great. It doesn't move the dial for anyone else, does it? Really?
No, exactly. It's the good thing about integrations is you're tapping into other customer bases,
that's a big one.
So like when we did the SME integration, we had like an influx of obviously your Belvoirs, your Scottish agents, which is great because it's an extra customer point to tap into. That's why we want to do more integrations, but with how difficult they are to build, we've gone through the GlueDog platform, and
Here's a question for you. Do you think the average estate agent's customer, so the actual end beneficiary of all the services that we provide, because I know that when we, certainly in the sales process, we'll go in and when we pitch in the room, we'll say, look, this is our process, this is how we onboard, this is how we progress sales, whatever we think our secret sauce is. Do you think that lettings agents, particularly who tend to be sort of more tech heavy, is there a sense that any of them are going into the room going, hey, Mr. Landlord, I want you to understand exactly how much tech we invest in here to deliver the type of service that we do?
They don't see that, do they? It's like
it's done well.
A good example is, I'm going to take my local golf course as an example.
I knew you'd get it round to that.
Scratch. So they spend 60 grand on a new mower. But it doesn't make the grass cut better, does it? You know what I mean? It's like it's just you got to replace it. Like the member or the golfer doesn't see that, do they? It's like buying. It's like if you go to a pub and the bar's like got some new taps on or something, or
I love the way you brought this analogy back. So
it's something you don't see, but it's something they've invested in. But the landlord or the tenant or the end consumer doesn't see that investment or the cost. It's so you could almost go down that route.
I think what's right there is, it's a bit like chefs say that obviously their joy of enjoying food and going to restaurants is kind of spoiled because when they're there, they're seeing it with the chef's eye. And it's like we ourselves probably are noticing things that are happening in the background. But by definition, that point about actually, if you don't notice stuff, that's normally when it's working right, isn't it? When it happens.
And Christian's just put a great comment about like the cost of the Reaper integration, which is 6 figures, which is the amount of customers you've got to get on board and maintain just to recoup that cost is massive. Christian actually emailed me last week about an integrated customer we've just on board, that they've just onboarded, and very slight issue, but it was rectified within 1 day. And the thing about that is that, and he also mentioned earlier on as well about relaying that information, is getting it rectified quickly. But sometimes we don't hear from other CRMs that we integrate with for a few days, which then drags on that issue. Whereas making sure you're getting that rectified straight away does create that domino effect of customers being happy from both sides, depository and Hive, and it's all put to bed very quickly. So, yeah.
Charging for integrations, do you think that is? I mean, obviously that's a way that CRMs can make money.
I'm a fan of not chop. Like, I see it as
you're a fan of not paying.
Yeah, I see it. I think the benefit is you making that customer stickier if you've got an integration
for both of you, for both
of us.
I think isn't it fine if it's fair? I mean that's what it's coming back down to again. It's great if you can absorb it, but there is a lot of agents do talk about the CRM tax, don't they? Where because when they do these strategic relationships and partnerships, they're charging such a high fee that actually ultimately it does get it's a bit like Trump's tariffs, just to take it back to the you know, it is a tax then on the agents at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's someone's got to, like, there are some integrations we can't absorb the cost on, and it's not something we ideally want to pass on to customers, because it is additional work to set that up on our payment system, to maintain that, to review the costings. Whereas, I'm not a fan of charging personally, but only because I think it just makes customers stickier anyway. And obviously they might refer that to the next agent. And that's all I'd say on that.
I think one of the things we've been looking at, we've got integrations on Kerfuffle on the page for each site, and actually it's nice, but I don't think we've really been updating it enough. And one of the things we were talking about with the team, we had a strategy day, was we need to get round, actually, because integrations are becoming so much more topical. And I think a different angle for us in this B2B industry is actually to start reviewing and rating the integrations themselves, because you highlighted yourself there what the expectation is for an agent at one end of the scale, which is classic two-way integration, and actually what a CRM might think they can get away with, which is just firing off a really basic email or template. There's a massive degree of difference in there, isn't there? And actually it's be interesting to start almost gauging those who's doing it best.
Yeah, and it's like the integrations now are just going to get even more complicated as well. Like it used to be a case of importing your property and tenant data, and when the report's done, it just goes back to the CRM as a copy, as a PDF. But now it's, will it look at my calendar? Will it book in routine inspections in my diary in Outlook? Will it send maintenance issues back? Will it update the tenant's details? So there's loads of different angles with integrations now, which can be never ending. And
so talk to us about, I mean, obviously we were talking before about obviously what a fantastic, you had innovation, you got the innovation award. I was very pleased to be able to look at that. Like you said, it was great to see you guys win the other awards as well. And you obviously do have a policy of really, as every great company should, listening to your clients. So talk to us about, obviously, Clerky. Talk to us about how that, what was the driver for, obviously, that? Was that you guys having an apple fall on the head moment, or was it the clients giving you the feedback, or a bit of both?
Yeah, so when I started at Hive, it was just always a case of, convince them to do all the inventories in-house themselves, because obviously that's what sells the product, basically. But we've noticed a lot of trend of agents haven't got enough time or the excitement to do inventories. So they've been outsourcing checking in, checkouts, but still using Hive for their routine interim inspections, because it's still cost effective to do that. How Clerky came about, so Clerky is basically our sister company, backed by the tenancy deposit scheme. And it's just a platform where agents can book property inspectors whenever they need to outsource work. But those property inspectors on Clerky don't have to use Hive. They can use Inventory Base if they want to. They can use KPR. They can use Touch. They can use any software provider. They could use. So we're not biased on that side of things. But the key thing is our platform is free for agents to use. So there's no service fee or admin fee or anything for the agents to book a clerk. So it just allowed us to help service our Inventory Hive customers for whenever they need to outsource work during peak periods or whenever they change the processes. So yeah.
Okay. And how do you? It's always difficult, though, isn't it? Do you then switch your full? You can't sort of switch your full attention in terms of there. How do you blend the two together when you've obviously got those spinning plates?
Yeah, so we've kind of got 2 teams now at Hive. So we've got the Image Hive team, and then there's 2 or 3 on the clerky team. Obviously, there's more development as well in the back. We've got Christian Scandora who splits his time between TDS, Hive, and clerky. We've got Holly as well, who works on clerky sales as well. We've got a really tight knit team, although they're technically 2 separate businesses as such. We sit in the same office, we sit next to each other, we share ideas, we share customers as and when.
Do you think, can I just stop you there? Because I know that we've kind of, I think in regular agency, we've almost got over the debate of what's better in the office or remote.
Yeah.
I think there is a sense that for certainly at Kerfuffle, we all work remotely, but we get together. When we do get together in the room, there's just less friction, I would say, because we're also able to sort of bounce off each other's ideas and pick up on stuff. Do you see that essential? You know, Mr. Wales just asked you a question about spinning plates. As somebody who is spinning a million plates himself and a million different businesses that sit side by side that all have the same personnel.
It's been a week since he's last acquired someone.
It has, yeah. It has. The reason we've got to get off the call at 11 o'clock is
sleep quiet.
But in truth, do you find that one of the essential ingredients to managing good teams and separate brands that sit side by side is actually having all of those brains in the same room?
Yeah, it's so we work remote, but then we do have we do sometimes go into a co-working office in Lichfield where we all get together and like give updates, share ideas, etc. And the thing is as well is like that clerky team used to work on Hive as well, so they know the history and the background of Hive. So I think that still keeps us really close together. And there's no we just work closely together. It's what we find as well is that everyone just gets on as well. It's not like we're going to the office for a chat basically. So yeah, well, obviously we work, but it's more of a catch up and a chat.
Just to go shoot down anyone who calls me a champagne socialist, just to let you know, Mitch, I used to do a bin round in Lichfield. So I did. Was it the Ruby Chinese? I used to pick up from.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it was a bit.
Is that eating out of bins after a night out, Simon? Or
I think you'll find there is a phrase for that, isn't there? What do they do there? Those people that free, is it freeganism or something like that?
Yeah,
it's those too good to waste people, right? Where they go around picking out. I do quite like the idea of a prop tech bin that Simon's going to forage through.
That'd be on the next.
Prop tech bin is kerfuffle.
Yeah.
Mitch, what do you see? What do you see in just in terms of the wider trends in agency? I mean, look, you don't have to go down the AI route and that, but are you broadly kind of positive about 2026? Are you the way agencies going? I mean, obviously you're doing some exciting stuff, so I know you're a glass half full person because I've been out with you, but
well, what we found is a lot of the trends this year is that a lot of agents are looking at AI, but they are a bit skeptical of it as well. They've got some we've been developing AI for a number of months now. We've been saying for about the last 6 months. We're going to release it next month. But there's that constant refining and making sure we're not just releasing AI for the sake of it. We've just got to make sure it's absolutely perfect for what our customers need. That's why it's kind of taking slightly longer than expected, because we might think, right, we've got it ready, and then there's like, oh, we could do this a bit better. So we just want to make sure we're getting that better.
Is that a challenge? Is that almost like the old VHS Betamax, just to age myself argument there, though, that you know, you don't want to go too soon for fear of going down the wrong route, or is it just that
we don't want to go too soon, so then that product falls, well, not flat on its face, but it's like, oh, it wasn't working. Like customers we don't want to demo it to customers. They get underwhelmed and then it just fizzles out. We want to make sure it's something absolutely bang on what they need from the outset. So we've got that releasing next month.
There you are. Look at that.
And there's a sense as well that you don't want to be beta testing stuff on valued clients. They don't need to be like guinea pigs that are just testing stuff for you.
And but yeah, what we're finding is we still get agents signing up for trials or ringing us up saying, oh, we still do inventories on pen and paper. Like, oh my, like how are you surviving? Like it's mental. But yeah, I think what we're seeing is a lot of agents wanted to streamline the start of tenancy process all the way to the end, and we sit perfectly in the middle of that, and that's why we're seeing a lot more inquiries on that side of things. But I think agents are just trying to box a bit clever now with their outgoings and their tech and operations. Yeah.
I think, look, Chris has just nailed it there, hasn't he? It'll never be perfect. I think it's and the agents that are talking to us and talking to the likes of Mal and all of these amazing AI tools that are popping up there, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's just a case, I think, getting on the train a little bit and then trying to find what works, and because it is, you're absolutely right. You need to make sure you're not going into full guinea pig mode, do you? Where the agents feel like, hang on, we're testing this all for you. But the other thing, it's only really when it hits the wild like that then develops on a pace.
Sometimes we can get too close to the product.
I think so. Yeah,
that's why when we have done testing and beta testing, we just handpicked 2 or 3 customers, and that's why the feedback we get back from those enables it to develop it further. Because when we released it for beta, it was like, this is great, what we wanted. Customer tests it. Oh, it's not what I want actually. So that's why we've constantly had to refine things. That's why it's important not to get too close to the product. Yeah.
Do you think that's a really interesting point? That though, going back to before, one of the challenges of integration is because a lot of the CRMs do customize it and agents use it in a different way. You can create a simple system if it was a single client, can't you? But when you out there and so many people operate in different ways, that's where it really does get challenging, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like our platform's been, we've got 700,000 managed properties on the platform.
Wow,
everyone's really happy with how it works. We're actually really busy in the build to rent space now. We've got 70% of completed build to rent units use Inventory Hive, and I think that's just down to the core product. The minute you start tweaking things specific for customers, we don't mind doing that, but then it might work well for them, for that customer, but not the other 80% of customers. So you've got to make sure it's a happy medium for everyone. But we must be doing something right if we've got that many people on the platform.
That's staggering. Again, we always challenge ourselves because I think, and then if it's true for us, where we think we know something about a business because you're so familiar with them, actually, what percentage of agents, for example, didn't know that that's the level of scale that you have in terms of it? That's an amazing amount.
Yeah, it's like what we try and do now is sometimes with customers, they onboard them, get them set up, then just let them fend for themselves. Where we try and check in every 6 months and tell them about the latest updates, what's been happening, what they might not be using, what integrations they could set up. It's important to constantly check in with your customers to make sure they're still active, basically. Yeah. It's
That's,
time.
just looking at that, that's going to be far more. You're looking after far more managed properties and everything else there than actually lots of the CRMs, aren't they? I mean, I can't think too many CRMs that cover that.
And I think a lot of that is obviously we're really busy in the letting agent space, obviously with Property Mark members, etc. But the build to rent space and the student accommodation space is really starting to take off as well. Like what we found with build to rent is in that industry, although they are different operators, they all team up, they all share, they all tell each other what platforms they're using, what CRMs they're using, what inventory software they're using, and it's just a bit.
We're more protective, more sort of guarded in ours, yeah.
Yeah, like
or they're huge companies that back this. I mean, we're talking about massive PLCs that don't necessarily treat. I mean, we're dealing in a much smaller business world than they are. They're at a different level.
It's like they're massive, millions and millions of pounds of investment going to these companies. Like you've got like Lloyd's Living, Lloyd's Bank now taking over the build to rent space. Like and it's like whenever we do events with build to rent, everyone's talking to each other. Like I know estate agency and letting agency, there's a great community there. Maybe a bit more competitive than build to rent. Build to rent, just everyone's on the same. Trying to think, choose my words carefully. Everyone's a bit more collaborative.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the word. Yeah.
Friendly.
Yeah. They are in letting estate agency, but there is that, you can tell at a Property Mark conference, there's that competitiveness in the room between all the agents.
But they've all got the same vested interests, haven't they? They're trying to deliver a standard of living with add-ons and whatever else that to the rest of the seems quite in a normal sort of world where cost of living crisis has become something that we talk about. That level of living, it almost seems like opulence, doesn't it? And to deliver that, I think you need consensus in that little sort of industry, that this is what students want, this is what people want. And the younger generation, if you like, who don't have a sense of the same time, I'm going to sound like my dad now. They don't know what, they don't know that they're born, and they don't know what money's worth these days. But there is that sense that they want more than just renting a property, that they want access to gyms and to swimming pools and to this and to that. So that whole sector's really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like they contribute massive to the housing crisis, build to rent, but it is a different customer base. Obviously, student, your professional, your professionals. They've got like some of the sites have all got gyms, pool tables, libraries, etc. So
you've cracked it for me now. It's the let them eat cake of property, of the property.
It is though. It's the hotelification, if that is even, isn't it, of things where they are competing with, cinema rooms. I mean, I'm just looking for my daughter Millie at the moment. She's looking to go to university. I was going around the student digs, as we would have called them back in the day, and I thought, this is better than where I stay most of the week in hotels.
Is she staying local? Because I've got one here that's looking for one as well.
She couldn't have been more clear that we took her to I took her to Salford University, and then she went to Liverpool, and both the time she said, I really, really like them, but I'm not staying anywhere near you and Mum, which says everything, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Fair enough. I can see Mitch glancing nervously towards the door, and I know he's got somewhere to be at 11:30.
A hard stop.
And I don't want to get into trouble with Mrs. Mitch. I can only get in trouble with Mrs. M this weekend.
It was the 1-year-old trying to break into the kitchen, wondering what I'm doing.
That's always good, yeah. Good. Well, look, it's always very exciting. Obviously, it's always great to catch in with you guys, because you obviously are doing so much, such a trusted part of that lettings world as well. So it's great to see.
Yeah. No, it's appreciate the invite. I was saying to Sarah before I came on, like, I feel like I'm not celebrity enough to be on this type of.
Oh, come on,
like, you know what I mean? Like you look at podcasts
Mitch,
everywhere, and they're all the same people.
Sorry, were you under the misapprehension that we were live streaming? This is just you, me, and Mintzy.
This recorded. Yeah.
Is he here? Who's that?
Bring the 1-year-old in. Let's meet the CEO.
To be honest, that's our 1-year-olds are our demographic anyway.
Oh.
Hey, hello.
Hello.
Is he here?
Look, it's Mr. Tumble.
Yeah. Mr. Tumble. Yeah, so we're
No,
going to the
so Mitch, this is the reason you look so well rested, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, exactly, isn't it? Have you had a nap? No.
You're going out now. Right, well, we will leave you all to have a wonderful Sunday. Thank you very much, Mitch.
All right, no, appreciate the invite, and we'll catch up soon.
See you. Have a great one.
Guys.
Bye. Thanks.